Welcome to Digital 101 from Quickpro Camera Guides. You've made a great choice to go digital, and don't worry, it's not scary. This DVD will help you understand the world of digital photography and help you make the transition from film cameras. A new world of possibilities is at your fingertips. With digital photography, everything you loved about your film camera is enhanced. This guide is intended to be a study tool. It can be viewed entirely in one sitting or by section according to your needs. Press the menu button at any time to return to a menu, and please feel free to use the chapter skip forward or back buttons on your DVD remote to navigate more easily. And if there's a specific topic you're interested in, you can find the Quick Access Index from the DVD's main menu. If you're worried that it's going to be hard to control your digital camera, don't be. It's possible to let the camera do all the work for you. Virtually every digital camera comes with a full auto mode. Switch the camera to this mode and it takes care of everything for you. This is the easiest of all shooting modes for digital cameras. It will even turn on the flash if needed. Check your camera's instructions to learn how to set your camera to this mode. To help you understand how your camera takes pictures, it's important to understand exposure. Exposure refers to the amount of light used to take a picture. If the camera has too little light, the exposure will be dark, and it will be hard for you to see the details in the image. If the camera has too much light, the image will be blown out, too white to see details. The creative use of exposure enables you to control many aspects of how your pictures look, including depth of field, image sharpness, motion blur, and brightness. Detailed descriptions of these aspects are beyond the scope of this DVD. If you want even better pictures while still letting the camera do the work, use one of the auto exposure modes. These modes are indicated on your camera's controls either by name or by an icon. For example, the sports mode may either say sports or show an icon of an athlete. Use this mode to take great pictures at sporting events or when you're trying to capture a moving subject. The portrait mode is great for taking shots of individuals. This mode blurs the background, making your subject stand out. The landscape mode takes great shots of subjects at a distance, like mountains or cityscapes. The night landscape mode does the same as the landscape mode, just at night. Use the beach setting for a day at the ocean and the snow setting for fun on the slopes. Use the backlight mode for taking pictures when it's bright behind your subject. Use the close-up mode to take detailed pictures of things like flowers and other small objects. Some cameras even offer special settings for taking pictures of things like fireworks or documents. In many ways, digital and film cameras are the same. There are two general types, point and clicks and SLRs. However, there are several variations within these categories. Point and clicks, also known as point and shoots, are the most common type of digital and film cameras. Point and clicks usually have a built-in lens that can't be removed, and the controls are mostly automatic. You can literally just point the camera and click to take a picture. One great thing about digital point and clicks is that many of them allow you to record short video clips. SLRs are single-lens reflex cameras. These cameras are typically larger than point and clicks. They allow the use of a variety of lenses with the same camera. SLRs give you more manual control and are therefore more often used by professionals. To better understand the similarities and differences between film and digital cameras, it's important to understand the primary parts that make a camera work. All cameras, both point and clicks and SLRs, have similar major parts, but they may look a little different and their location on the camera body may vary depending on the camera type. The film camera is made up of three major parts: a lens, a shutter, and film. When light reflects off an object, the lens focuses that light into the camera. The lens aperture or iris controls how much or how little light enters the camera. The shutter is a small doorway that opens and closes rapidly, regulating the light that passes through to the film. Film is a light-sensitive material that, when exposed to light, captures and stores images. These images are later brought out of the film using a chemical process called developing. Digital cameras are made up of similar parts. The lens and shutter work the same as they do in a film camera by focusing light and allowing it to pass through to be captured. The difference is how the image is captured and stored. This is what separates digital cameras from film cameras. While a film camera uses only film to capture and store the image, a digital camera uses two components to do this: an image sensor to capture the image and a memory card to store that image. An image sensor is a light-sensitive computer chip that, when exposed to light, captures the image. The image is then converted by the camera into a digital file, which is then stored on your memory card. A memory card stores images until the images are archived on a PC hard drive or burned to a CD and deleted from the memory card. To review, both film and digital cameras fall into one of two categories: point and clicks and SLRs. The fundamental parts of all cameras perform similar functions. The lens focuses the light, the shutter allows the light to enter into the camera, and the film, or image sensor chip in digital cameras, captures the image. The memory card in a digital camera stores the image just as the film does in a film camera. When comparing the image sensor to film, another great advantage of digital cameras is that you can easily control the image sensor light sensitivity. In other words, you can tell the camera how much light is required to properly expose the image sensor. This is called setting the ISO. Controlling the light sensitivity of a film camera is a hassle because you have to buy and switch out different types of film. With a digital camera, the days of worrying about what type of film to use are over. With a higher ISO setting, less light is required to properly expose the image sensor. With a lower ISO setting, more light is required. Keep in mind that the higher the ISO setting, the more noise or digital grain will show in your images. In other words, a high ISO setting may cause the image to look grainy or full of particles. With many digital cameras, you can make ISO adjustments on your camera or set the camera to automatically make these adjustments for you. Another difference between film and digital is that you can control how your digital camera sees different types of light. This is called setting your white balance. Film cameras do not have this option. To better understand what white balance is, it's important to understand that each type of light is made up of different colors. To a camera, white objects under sunlight have a bluish tint. Indoor lights make a white object look more orange or red. Fluorescent lights give white objects a greenish color. Our eyes see all of these types of light as white. Digital cameras don't see light the way our eyes do unless the white balance is adjusted. Most digital cameras detect proper white balance automatically. Some cameras have settings that are optimized for different lighting conditions. Thanks to the white balance settings of digital cameras, you no longer need extra accessories like you did with a film camera to get the proper color in your image. Another major advantage of going digital versus using film is instant feedback. A digital camera lets you see the picture instantly after you've taken it. That way you can see if your photos are turning out the way you want them to. If not, you can make changes and retake the shot. No more waiting for your film to develop just to find out that your photo didn't turn out the way you wanted it to. You can also immediately delete the photos that don't turn out to conserve space on your memory card. This also makes it easier to take lots of photos and just delete what you don't like. To review, digital cameras allow you to adjust the light sensitivity of the image sensor. This is called setting the ISO. Different types of light appear to be different colors to a camera. Digital cameras can be adjusted to see the light properly as our eyes do. This is called setting the white balance. Film cameras cannot adjust ISO or white balance. Digital cameras let you view your photos instantly and delete what you don't like. You've probably heard the term megapixels while shopping for a digital camera. What is a megapixel? Why is it important, and how many do you need? The answers to these questions are actually pretty simple. To understand megapixels, first we need to understand what a pixel is. The word pixel is short for picture element. A pixel is a tiny square made up of one solid color. Pixels are the smallest component of a digital image. Digital photos are made up of millions of these squares or pixels. This is similar to what you see if you look closely at your computer screen. The resolution or size of a digital photo is determined by how many pixels the image sensor chip can capture. The resolution of a digital photo is measured in megapixels. A megapixel is equal to 1 million pixels. So a 6 megapixel camera is capable of taking photos with 6 million pixels. To put this into perspective, a 35mm film camera takes photos equivalent to a 4 or 5 megapixel digital camera. So how many megapixels do you need? Well, that depends on what you want to do with your photos. Are you going to put them on the web or view them on your computer? Will you be printing them for a photo album or scrapbook? Or will you want to enlarge your photos to hang on the wall? Cameras capable of shooting 1 megapixel or less, such as those found in cell phones, are great for emailing or the web, but you can't make decent prints larger than 2 inches by 3 inches. A 2 megapixel camera can take photos suitable for 4 by 6 inch prints. These are great for scrapbooking or family photo albums. 3 megapixel cameras can take pictures that can be printed as large as 11 by 14. A 4 megapixel camera will allow for prints up to 16 by 20. You can get great quality poster-sized prints with a 5 or 6 megapixel camera. The great thing about cameras with 4 or more megapixels is that you can crop your photos and still get large prints. 6 or more megapixels will give you professional results. It's important to note that you can always get your photo printed at a smaller size without loss of quality. However, if you try to enlarge a photo with lower resolution, that is one with fewer megapixels, there will be some quality loss in the image. To review, image sensor resolution is measured in megapixels. A megapixel is made up of 1 million pixels. A pixel is the smallest element of a digital photograph. The number of megapixels you need depends on what you want to do with your photos. Remember, where a film camera stores the images directly to the film itself, a digital camera stores the images on a memory card. There are 2 file types that digital cameras are capable of storing: JPEG and RAW. Some cameras can store both JPEG and RAW files. However, JPEG is the most common file format. RAW, on the other hand, is not supported by all cameras. JPEG images tend to take up less space than RAW files. This means that you can fit more JPEGs on your memory card. The RAW file format keeps more of the image data and is therefore a better quality image file. Because RAW files retain more of the image data, they are larger files. This means that you can fit fewer RAW files on your memory card. JPEGs are the standard format for printing and sharing. As a matter of fact, it's best to convert your RAW files to JPEG using software on your computer before printing and sharing them. RAW is the standard file format used by professionals. It can also be edited with popular software packages like Adobe Photoshop. You can also edit JPEGs using computer software, but the RAW file format gives you a lot more control in the editing process. You can view JPEGs as much as you want on your camera or on your computer without losing any quality in your image. However, because of the nature of the JPEG file format, if you open a JPEG to edit, then resave it, there will be some quality loss in your image. You won't notice the quality loss at first, but if you edit and resave your JPEGs multiple times on your computer, the quality loss will become more apparent. JPEGs do not lose quality when you copy, move, or rename them on your computer. Because of the nature of the RAW file format, you can continually edit and resave the RAW file without any quality loss. RAW files may have different file extensions depending on the brand and model of camera that you buy. You may need to install the software that came with your camera in order to view and edit RAW files on your computer. For most people, JPEG is the best file format to use. You probably shouldn't shoot in RAW unless you plan to seriously edit your images. To review, JPEG and RAW files are the two most common formats that digital cameras are capable of storing. JPEG is the most standard format. RAW gives more options for editing and is mostly used by professionals. Remember, after the image sensor captures the image, the camera sends the electronic data to be stored on a memory card as either a JPEG or a RAW file. Memory cards come in a variety of sizes, shapes, and formats. The most common of these are SD or secure digital and CF or compact flash. Other card types include XD, SM, and memory sticks. While some advanced cameras allow you to use multiple memory card formats, most only require one of these types. Check your owner's manual or ask at your local photo store to find out what type you need. It's important to note that the brand of your memory card does not need to match the brand of your camera. Ask your photo retailer what brand they recommend. Memory cards vary in their storage capacity. No matter what kind of card your camera uses, you can choose from a variety of capacities. Memory card storage capacity ranges anywhere from 8 megabytes to 8 gigabytes or larger. With constant advances in technology, storage capacity of memory cards is always increasing. To better understand the storage capacity of a memory card, imagine your memory card as a jar. Now think of your image file as a ball. The jar can hold a limited number of balls. The larger the storage capacity of your memory card, the larger the jar. Obviously, you can hold more balls in a larger jar. The great thing about memory cards is that when they're full, you can dump the files onto a computer and reuse the card as many times as you like. We will discuss how to do this later. Remember that JPEG images have a smaller file size than RAW. That means you can fit fewer RAW files on your memory card. Also, the more megapixels your camera has, the larger the file size of each picture. This means that with a 1 gigabyte memory card and a 3 megapixel camera, you can fit about 530 JPEGs or 210 RAW files. With a 5 megapixel camera and a 1 gigabyte card, you can hold around 330 JPEGs or 130 RAW files. An 8 megapixel camera allows approximately 210 JPEGs or 80 RAW images per 1 gigabyte card. And finally, with a 10 megapixel camera and a 1 gigabyte card, you can store about 170 JPEGs or 70 RAW files. These numbers are approximate and vary from camera to camera. You may be wondering why you would ever need a memory card with a larger storage capacity. Well, the answer is simple. Imagine you're on vacation or at a sporting event and you want to take lots of pictures. You may not have easy access to a computer to transfer your photos. In these situations, I prefer to use one high-capacity memory card. However, you can also use multiple memory cards. Your memory card will last longer and run better if you take care of it properly. Here are some helpful tips. Remember that memory cards are small and can easily be lost. It's important to store them in a safe place, like the compartments in a camera case or memory card wallet. You can find these items at your local camera store. It may also be helpful to have extra memory cards in case one is lost or damaged. Be careful not to force your memory card when inserting it into the camera. Forcing the card can damage the card and the camera. Touching the metal connectors on your memory card may cause the card to malfunction inside the camera. Most cameras have a little light that indicates that the memory card is being used. Never remove the card when the light is on. As a matter of fact, it's best to turn off your camera before removing your memory card. Keep your memory card away from magnetic or electronic fields which may damage the card. Memory cards are sensitive to extreme temperatures, so be sure not to leave your memory card in a hot car or out in the cold. A common myth is that airport security scanners can damage your memory card. While film can be damaged by scanners, memory cards and digital cameras are unaffected. To keep your camera operating at its best ability, you may need to reformat your memory card from time to time. But what is reformatting? Before we explain reformatting, it's important to know that reformatting the card will erase all your photos. So don't reformat your card until you've backed up your photos. After images are stored and deleted many times, the memory card doesn't perform as well. This will slow down your camera when trying to take a photo or view your photos on the LCD display. Reformatting is different than simply deleting your images. Reformatting is like spring cleaning for your memory card. It wipes all the data from your memory card, making it operate like new. You can reformat your memory card as often as you like, but remember, it will permanently erase all your images. You can reformat your memory card with your camera. Check your camera's owner's manual to learn how to do this. You can also look for one of our camera-specific Quickpro guides. To review, there are many memory card formats, but SD and CF are the most common. The higher the storage capacity, the more images you can fit on your card. Occasionally, reformat your memory card so that it will run like new. Digital photography opens doors to a lot of possibilities. Really, taking pictures is just the beginning. Once you've taken your photos, you can print them, edit them on a computer, archive them on a hard drive or CD, or share them with your friends and family. Whatever you do with your digital images, digital photography makes it simple and fun. To get started, you'll first want to get your photos off your memory card and onto a computer. The most convenient way is to use a memory card reader. A memory card reader is a device that allows you to connect your memory card directly to your computer. Most new computers have a built-in memory card reader, much like floppy disk drives in older computers. If your computer didn't come with an internal card reader, you can purchase an external card reader which connects to your computer through a USB port. You can buy a card reader specific to your card type, such as SD or CF. You can also buy a card reader that supports multiple card formats. Another way to upload your images from your memory card to a computer is to connect your camera directly to the computer. You can do this using the USB cable that came with your camera. You may need to install the software that came with your camera for this to work. Check your owner's manual. Your camera may have also come with a dock that you can connect to a computer through a USB port. You can simply set your camera on top of the dock and the computer will be able to access the images on the memory card. Again, you may need to install the software that came with your camera onto your computer for this to work. Whether you've connected a card reader, a USB cable, or a camera dock, you should now be able to access the photos on your memory card using your computer. The connected device will appear in My Computer if you're using Windows, and in Finder if you're using a Mac. Next, you'll need to copy the image files from your memory card and paste them into a folder on your computer's hard drive. It will save you some time later if you designate a specific folder on your computer for digital image files. Once you've copied all of your photos onto your computer, you can view them or delete the ones that you don't want. You shouldn't have any problem viewing JPEGs on your computer, but remember, you may need to install the software that came with your camera before you can view RAW files. You can also edit your photos using computer software to enhance how they look, or just play around. The software that came with your camera may have some basic editing functions, such as cropping and removing red-eye. However, for more editing options, you can use other software packages, such as Adobe Photoshop. It's amazing what you can do when editing digital photos. Digital cameras are great because it's easy to take a lot of pictures. The only problem with so many photos, though, is it's easy to get disorganized. If you don't want to lose your photos, and if you want to be able to find them on your computer, it's essential that you organize and back up your photos. This process is called archiving. Archiving your photos will make them easier to find for sharing and printing. It will also help to preserve your images. When archiving your photos, first delete the images that didn't turn out. This will conserve space, keep your computer less cluttered, and make it easier to find the pictures you want. But be cautious that you don't delete too much. Simply delete the images that really didn't turn out, such as the accidental shots of the ground or photos that were taken with the lens cap on, or photos that were just badly exposed. Once you've deleted the photos you don't want, the next step is to organize them into folders. How you organize these folders is up to you, but here are some helpful suggestions. First, keep all of your organized folders in one location on your computer's hard drive. It will be easier to find them if you know exactly what folder they're in. Windows makes this easy because it provides a folder found in My Documents called My Pictures. Macs also provide a folder for archiving your images called Pictures. You can also create a general picture folder of your own anywhere you want on your computer's hard drive. Next, use a logical and consistent naming system for the folders. For example, name the folders by dates or events, or a combination of the two. Also, keep it simple. Using too many subfolders inside of folders will make it harder to find your images. Last, don't get sloppy. Properly archiving your photos may take an extra minute, but keep it up. You'll be glad you did. The next essential step in archiving is backing up your photos. Backing up your photos simply means making an extra copy that is not stored on your computer. This prevents you from losing all of your images if your computer has problems. There really is no need to back up your photos on multiple memory cards. The best way to back up photos is to burn them to a high-quality CD or DVD. It's easy to do this on both Windows and Macintosh computers. A DVD holds about 6 times more photos than a CD. It's recommended that you make more than one backup copy so you can mail it to a family member or friend who lives in another town. This will help to preserve your images in the case of a natural disaster. If you don't have a computer to archive and back up your photos, you can usually request a backup CD from the store where you get your prints. Don't forget to label and organize your CDs and DVDs. Never use a ballpoint pen to label a disc. Only use permanent felt-tip markers or labels made especially for discs, and never write on the bottom of the disc. To keep your backup discs lasting longer, store them in a protective case and keep them in a safe place. The life of a CD or DVD is limited. You may want to make a fresh backup every few years. Use only high-quality discs to back up your photos. Ask your photo store professionals what brand they recommend. To review, you can copy your images onto your computer by using a memory card reader, by connecting your camera using a USB cable, or by using a camera dock. Once your photos are copied, you can view them, delete them, edit them, and archive them. Be organized when archiving and backing up your photos. You can back up your photos onto CDs or DVDs. One of the biggest questions people have about digital photography is, how do I get prints? The answer is simple, the same way you always have. One thing that makes digital printing so convenient is that you can take your memory card directly to a local camera store to get prints just like you could with your rolls of film. You can also take your images on a CD or DVD to get prints. Another cool thing about printing digital photos is that you can choose which photos you want printed. Your photo store can print in a variety of sizes. Remember, the higher the megapixel rating of your camera, the larger they can make your prints without quality loss. You can also print your photos at home using a photo printer. This is convenient, but it's also more expensive than printing at the store. Before printing at home, you'll need a photo printer, ink for the printer, and high-quality photo paper. There are several varieties of photo printers available. You can check with your local camera store to learn more. It's also important to note that the colors on a print made at home will fade more quickly. But again, printing at home is very convenient. One of my favorite things to do with my photos is to share them with my family and friends. This is difficult and expensive to do with film cameras. With digital, it's easy and costs nearly nothing. You can share your photos over the internet through email or by posting your photos on a blog or web page. Digital photography also makes scrapbooking and photo album printing easier than ever. You can also share your photos with family and friends by sending them a copy of your images on a disc. Remember, this can help to preserve your images in case yours get lost or damaged. When sharing your images, it's important to note that RAW files are not as easy to share as JPEGs. However, you can convert your RAW files into JPEGs using the software that came with your camera or by using software like Adobe Photoshop. To review, you can get prints of your digital photos and a backup CD at your local camera store. You can also print at home with the right equipment. Digital photography makes sharing your photos inexpensive, easy, and fun. Congratulations, you've made it through Digital 101. Now you know the differences between film and digital photography and the exciting possibilities in the digital world. Please look for more of our Quickpro guides that can help you unlock the full potential of your digital camera. We may even have a guide tailored specifically for your model.